they stopped paying, and that she didn't want the house anymore. So as much as I would have liked you to dig deeper, and really figure out what's going on with that situation. Did he just stop paying? Did the tenant stop paying? Hence the investor stop paying, right? Like some of those pieces of information. Um, you did at least get the high points. I actually didn't want to dig in too much. I think you did a decent job at asking some of those questions. I actually think it worked against you in some cases a little bit. I think you stuck on the fact finding for a little bit. And I know it's tough in such a small period of time to have to hit all those things. Overcoming objections and presentation solutions. You know, I think you were thinking about, again, doing the right thing and saying the right thing. But for example, she gave you pushback on not wanting to do creative again because she had a tough time. And your solution was just to say that you could give her cash. So it's a solution. It's going to solve her peace of mind issue, giving her cash, but we don't know if we could pay cash. And in all likelihood, and we don't want to be the ones to assume, but if it's a creative deal, it's most likely cash is not going to be a number that's going to work for her. So you kind of overcame it, right? So at least you gave her some feedback that, hey, there is something else I can do. And you did present her some solutions. I think it was more you set the stage for the fact that you could set solutions so much as actually find one for her. And then for strength to close and follow up, I gave you a 4. I agree with Tyler. I would have preferred that you lock down an actual specific follow up. But same thing, I don't want to ding you too much. You got her to commit to a follow up, and you said that you guys were going to have a conversation. So, you know, I think you were close, you know, but it really was just that confidence, that tonality really makes a big difference.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I know the time did play a major part in it, because I was trying to hit all those. I was trying to hit every single line, and then when I looked down at my time, I was like, "Oh crap!" Um, I didn't know that I even talked as long as I did. But I agree. I should have spent more time for sure on building rapport, and it probably most likely would have overcome that. You know, I got burnt last time, and this is what happened. And I probably would have, given, without having the time restraints, dug a little deeper and building that confidence. I would have readdressed the rapport building part. Um, if it was a real life person. So I agree. There's a lot of things I need to work on, and I definitely appreciate everybody's feedback. I would love to hear from Dom, if he, not to discredit any of
Not
you
the
guys.
hammer. You don't want the
The
hammer coming in
hammer.
here.
I'd love to get Dom's feedback on that call if he was listening.
Let's go. Dom, are you available, bro? Angie's Dom
I'm
around?
sad I missed the call. I apologize, Rick.
I
What
don't
I
know that
what,
he heard it.
what I can tell by coming back here is we definitely had closer level feedback because y'all probably gave feedback for longer than the remaining portion of the
Rick.
Zoom. So what's his official score? Is 54.5?
54.5. Yeah.
So he's in 4th place right now.
Yep.
So technically, you're still in the running, Rick. You're still top 4. Anything is possible at this point, bro. Anything is possible.
Well, I'm excited.
Well, you got to notify your face, bro. Jesus.
I know.
Okay.
I'm trying to work on it, man.
Behind that beard.
You're looking at a guy who's pretty tough as nails. I'm coming out of my comfort zone for even talking. So
No, honestly, man, and that's such a big respect to you, bro, and everybody who's a part of this thing. Is I really, really respect the people who are coming outside of their comfort zone. You're not the only one. Tom is out here. Robin's out here. Like every single one of these people. Motz is a G. Motz doesn't care. Motz takes showers in public for no reason whatsoever. But everybody else is normal, and they feel uncomfortable standing in front of over 100 people role-playing some make-believe situation in a 6-minute time period, right? So big respect to you, Rick, for coming out here, and for everybody. That's a big part of what this is about, man. So kudos to you, seriously.
Oh, thank you.
All right, well, let's move this thing forward. Let's go. Tom, no, wait, it's John's next?
Yeah.
The baby eater.
Money Motz.
Third.
Money Motz wore his lucky hat. Hopefully it helps. Let's see.
He said he's ready to eat babies today. So
It worked for Ty, so this is the Ty Leon Guerrero gear.
Okay, so you were trying to bring some Thai energy into this thing.
I'm
That's a
just
big
saying,
ask.
like,
I'm not gonna lie.
We're California. We're Raider
Okay.
Nation. I'm just saying.
He's a G. I mean, he's
Raider Nation.
I'm mad at, bro. Don't start. Don't start. You do not want the smoke.
Wow. Okay. Well, you guys see the
Isn't
energy
that Vegas?
that
Who's your
That's
team?
Vegas.
Let's start there before I
He's from
I don't want to
Seattle,
get y'all
so-
riled up, bro.
I am
Come on.
already riled
Focus
up.
on the call.
DQ,
All
you
right.
scoring this one?
I'm happy to score it. I will jump in for whomever.
Yeah,
You could jump in for me. We'll let the Bash Bros go, and then I'll run
Okay.
it.
Let's
You want to
just
focus on
rotate
your
each
lip
one.
care?
Since I am competing, I'm looking for excuses not to
Bro,
judge.
we're
I don't
all
want to give
fucking-
no.
we're
You know
all
what I mean?
Well,
Mods,
everybody's
I don't want
competing.
mods to be over here
Everybody's
like
competing.
ah.
It's the thing. There's no scenario where somebody's not competing. It's just the nature of the game.
That's what I'm saying. I don't want
This
to
is
give
our
no
first.
excuses.
It's our first big go around, and so people won't have to just take what they get, and with imperfections, because that's how growth happens. That being said, Mats, you know what it is. Savannah, are you ready with your profile, with your seller situation?
Oh, fizzy.
I'm really excited to see Savannah go. I really hope Savannah comes out here and crushes all these dudes. I also
did
really hope
great.
Savannah
On
realizes
I
mute.
too am excited to
talking to
watch
herself.
Savannah go.
She did great last.
Oh
She
my
crushed.
gosh, I'm like totally muted.
Savannah is her own biggest worst enemy, without question. Not even a question. Guys, if you guys are making posts, I've seen a couple posts. Please make sure you guys tag Pace and say thank you for creating such a dope community and an opportunity. You know, I know we're here, we're putting the work in to make sure that this thing happens, but it doesn't happen without the platform that Pace created. And he had you guys in mind when he decided to put this crazy thing out here. So please show him some love and say thank you for yet another opportunity to do something cool in this industry. That being said, guys, let's get ready to go. Savannah, you know what you're doing. Mott's turned his camera off. He's in full focus mode. He does not want to set a steak knife. Shout out to everybody who gets the reference. Tyler
Hey,
and Eddie,
Eddie, I just want to let you know this is the situation, and I'm not sending you a lead.
All right, I was just making sure, you know. Always on my tippy toes, you know.
DQ's like, what's going on?
I'm gonna send it to Samir just in case Daniel has to
Gotcha,
step
yeah.
away again. He can help judge.
Say it up.
Okay.
Sergio, what's going on, man? I hope you're listening to your competition, bro, because they're here
You mean
coming for your neck.
Beanball? Is that Beanball?
All right, John, you ready, bro?
I'm ready.
All right, I'm gonna put this timer on, and whenever Savannah says hello, you got 6 minutes to make magic happen, bro.
All right, let's do this. Ring, ring.
Hello.
Savannah, it's John. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hey, I got a note on my desk saying you're trying to sell this property on 123 Main Street. How you doing today?
I'm doing okay.
All right, you sound a little sad. Everything okay?
Yeah. Oh, were you calling? You want to buy my house?
Yeah, real quick, Savannah, before we get started, a little about us. We're a creative real estate investment company that specializes in speed and convenience. We pride ourselves on creating win-win scenarios. So if we end up being a match to buy the property, we'll make everything very easy and straightforward. But if for whatever reason the property does not fit our buying criteria, I'm still going to do everything in my power to help you out and try to point you in the right direction. Does that sound fair?
Okay.
Okay, great. I also want to let you know I only got a few minutes before my next appointment. So if you don't mind, I want to hop right into this.
Uh-huh. I'm listening.
Savannah, are there any other decision makers that we need to loop in on this call?
Not anymore, no.
Okay, well, you say not anymore. What's going on?
My husband, he passed away.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. And you guys were living in the house? Are you still in the house?
I'm still in the house. He's not in the house anymore.
I see. So what's got you thinking about selling the property?
I'm just having some pretty bad health stuff, and I need to move somewhere that it's got like a warmer climate. So, yeah, I
Pretty
just
bad
want to
health
sell
stuff.
this one.
Pretty bad health stuff. What do you mean by that exactly, if you don't mind me asking?
I was diagnosed with something that's I don't want to talk about it too much, but it's just important that I can be somewhere where I can be a little bit more comfortable and have a little bit, like I said, a warmer climate to help me, get through this.
Gotcha. So do you have a certain timeline that you need to be somewhere?
I mean, I would like to move pretty quickly here. is this something like, I mean, what do you typically do?
Well, I mean, I basically want to figure out exactly what's going to help you out the best. So let's start with, do you have a price in mind? Let's start there.
Um, um, I mean, I guess what I was hoping is I can just get a bunch of the offers together and then I can review them and make a decision here, maybe next week. So you can just run your numbers there and just let me know what you think is going to be your best offer.
So when you say you're going to get a bunch of offers together, do you have this thing up on the market? Like, I'm curious.
I've been getting a lot of calls. I'm assuming that's like investors like you. And one person's already came and took a look at the property. So I want to just, get everything together and make sure I'm making the right decision.
So I'm assuming that you've got a price in mind, right? What are you looking to get?
I'd rather just wait and see everybody's offer. I don't want to say it one way or the other.
Gotcha. So is price the most important thing to you, or is time the most important thing to you? I'm trying to tailor an offer to you.
I think both are very important. I need to make sure that I'm in a position where I have some money to move,
Hmm.
so that, but I would like to move pretty quickly. So both of those are important.
So if I could come in all cash, no closing costs, no realtor fees, close in say 10 days, does that sound like something that you would entertain?
I mean, I'm open to discussing and of course negotiating. 10 days is kind of soon, but maybe if we could do maybe something like, you know, 20 days, I think that would be
Okay.
enough time.
So 20 days, I come in all cash, and you've already got somewhere that you've picked out, or are we still looking?
Um, I actually found a property next to my kids
Oh,
out in
interesting.
Arizona. Yeah, so
Okay. So, is there anything that I should know about the condition of the house? Is everything in functional condition? Like, what do I need to know about this house?
um, I mean, to be honest with you, just, with how my health has been, I haven't been able to uh make some of the repairs that I should have been making. So it does, it does need some updating and some work here and there, and not having my husband around has made it a little bit challenging as well.
No, I get it. And again, I'm sorry for your loss, but let's do this. Is there any way I can set up an appointment to come take a look at the condition and I can write you an offer on the spot? Is that something that we can make happen right now?
You can come look at the property, but like I said, I'd like to review the offers next week.
Okay.
Yeah.
When can I come by to take a look at this property?
You could come by today or tomorrow.
Yeah, today works for me. Is house 4 o'clock? Does that work?
And that is
Ye-
time, ladies and
yes,
gentlemen.
it does work.
Savannah trying to make up for how she did Samir at the last second last time and completely costing him like 12 points.
Stop.
That being said, very interesting calls. I have a lot of feedback on that. I'm going to go second. Eddie, if you want to go ahead and go first, bro, I'm interested in hearing your thoughts. We'll go ahead and get straight to the scoring. Samir's pulling up the score sheet, and we will see how John did. John, before we get into the scoring, bro, how you feeling? Quick summary.
I couldn't really dig in enough. Just watching the clock, like I put the timer up, like I was just stressing myself out because 6 minutes, like
It's tough, man.
it's brutal. It's
I don't
brutal.
care how good you are. That
Yeah.
6 minutes does not care.
Yeah, it doesn't. And then that timer's just, reeling off, reeling off, reeling off. And then I saw like 5 minutes and 30 seconds. I'm like, I got to get in my follow up right here. I'm not going to get any points for that. So,
Yeah. Well, let's go ahead and knock this out, Eddie. Let's go ahead and hear your thoughts, and we'll go from there.
All right, cool. So I'm gonna hit an intro of a 3, reports a 2.5, fact finding 2.5, motivation a 3.25, objections 3.25, solutions 2.5, and the close 4.25. Um, And I'll really quickly, I just literally right before we got this, I got a phone call for Grant Cardone, and that's exactly what it sounded like. Like I was being called by Grant Cardone's team again, because their high energy is super positive, but super high energy. It's like I'm trying to explain what I'm trying to get through, but they're not listening to me because their high energy and their push and their drive towards me is like overseeding what I'm trying to explain to them. Hey, I'm in a Zoom. Oh, no worries, man. Yeah, what's a good time? I'm calling you about this thing. And it was just super like, dude, like, you know, that with her being energy is very small, slow. You're way too fast and way too high on energy to the point where you were drowning out any possibility of real connection with the person to get them to drive to that next stage of the phone call, right? Which again, rapport building. That's why you got the 2.5 is because there was so much that she was saying that you could have dug a little bit more deeper. And I know we have 6 minutes of the stressful, the nature of the phone call. If it was like a 20-minute call, I know you would have hammered it. But just the fact that your energy stayed high the entire time, even though her energy was below you, is a huge difference, and that's what causes a lot of separation on that phone call. Fact finding again, your energy is so high, and you're asking about this property. Is there anything else I should know about this? Is there anything else I should know about that? Instead of asking more or less more in depth questions about like, oh my gosh, what's happening? What can we like? What's the perfect situation look like for you at this point? Right? Overcoming objections, same thing. Presentation solutions. I don't think we got many solutions. You did pitch a little bit on like, okay, if I can do this, can we get here? But again, what I do like about the solution pitch is they're hypotheticals, and it's not a legit offer. They're hypotheticals to see where she's at and what she's going to respond with. And then obviously the strength and follow up towards the end, you're getting that learning from what Tyler's previous thing was is like hit the time, get a time and affirm a time, it's rock and roll, but we didn't hit it just yet, but you got 4.25.
Boom. All right, Tyler, go ahead, brother.
Wait, Eddie, real quick. I have your scores right, right? Because I feel like you read off an extra category that I
Three,
missed.
2.5,
2.5.
2.5, three, 2.5, and
Three. This is 2.5 with solutions.
solutions were 2.5, and then
Oh,
the
okay. Well.
objections and overcoming was 3.5.
Oh, overcoming. Okay. Wait, overcoming objections is. Am I missing?
How many
Actually,
categories you got over there, bro?
He just said it a
So
little
it's
bit
3, 2.5, 2.5,
inebriated.
3.5, three, 2.5, and a 4.25.
That's it. That's it. You're okay. It's okay. We're all
Okay.
all right.
DQ, we switching it up?
Oh, I can go. You want me to go?
Overcome
You
objections by
go
those.
second. I don't care. I got my numbers, but
Go ahead, Pumpkin. Do
I'll
your
go.
thing.
All right.
Eddie, just message it to me. Message me, bro.
Those are the right numbers. I think. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right. So strength of intro 3.5, rapport 3, fact finding 3.25, overcoming objections 3, solutions 3.5, strength of close 4.5. My initial thought when we first opened up that call was, damn, that was a little aggressive. And I say that not because of the first, like, you came on, but you didn't dial it back. So when you heard she was like a little old lady, yeah, you feel sad, oh, what's going on? That's the time to like bring it back down a level, because then you're gonna start, like Eddie said, you're gonna start connecting more. That's just how I felt. I also felt maybe the intro was great, but it was a super long intro. Rapport building, same thing. I didn't really feel like a huge connection. Fact finding and uncovering motivation. You got like the basis of it, but you didn't get into like, okay, you have to move into a warmer climate. Like what's going on? I know your husband died. You got that part, but like what's actually going on with you? I felt like if you dialed your energy back, you could have started asking those questions a little bit more, and she would have been more comfortable with you. Overcoming objections 3, presentation of solutions. You gave a cash solution. There wasn't much beyond that. And then the follow-up 4.5, because you got her to commit to a day and almost time.
Yeah. All right. So I'm gonna score this. Here's what's interesting to me about this call, guys, and this is one thing I try to talk a lot about, even in my own trainings, because and we talk about this in the nightly Dow a lot. People don't understand the difference between sales training and sales processes, right? We can convolute these phrases and use them interchangeably when they're very much different things. Mott's has a very clear established sales process. His sales process is very similar to a couple of bigger players in the real estate wholesaling game, right? I won't name their names. They have really big operations. But I think the one of the difficulties of using their process in our circumstance is that their building their layout of their business puts them in a position for that process to work well for them. And if you don't have the same business model, you're going to find that sales process falling short in your individual solopreneur business because it's just not built to use that kind of a process, right? It's like saying, I want to put this really nice, metal roof on my tiny house that was for a 5,000 square foot house, right? It's a nice roof. It's not going to fit the house. And so I think that's what happens when you go into these sales processes. And what I hear is Mott's using a great sales process, but it did a miserable job of matching the person. And that's where knowing when your process won't serve you and having a functional fallback in good communication skills and good sales training will be a lifesaver, because a sales process helps a lot of times. But this is a great example when you use that kind of a process where it'll just fail you and it'll leave you. And Mats, you just happened to get the scenario that just didn't serve your process, right?
Yep.
So that being said, I'm going to give you strength of intro. I'm gonna give you a 3.5 on your strength of intro, and here's why. I'm grading you on the quality of the intro. For a intro that you use, which is more of a call center approach, you did a good job delivering it, except for it was like a 60-second intro, bro. Like, like that was tough. So that I'm gonna be generous here, and I'm gonna give you a 2.5 on rapport, because you were asking the right rapport-based questions, but it didn't sound like you were trying to build rapport. So no rapport was built, right? It's not what you say, it's how you say it, and that's kind of where the issue was there. Fact-finding and uncovering motivation. The way I was doing this on Friday was I was using the amount of things that was important to be touched on based on the motivation, and then scoring based on how many of those you got. You got like 2 out of 5, right? And so as a result, I'm gonna give you a 2 here, because there was a couple of different things. She had a reverse mortgage. She wanted some more money, right? There was a couple of things that you didn't get. And so I'm going to give you a 2 there for that. Overcoming objections, I'm going to give you a 3 down the middle, because it was fairly neutral. You didn't have that many. You did an okay job with that. Presentation of solutions, I'm going to split the difference here. I'm going to give you a 3 there as well, because you started to present it. And then strength to close, I'm giving you a 4.75. You got everything but the yes before the clock went off. So I don't really think there's any reason to score you any less on that, because at least you got there, right? This is where, guys, when I talk about the value of how you handle these calls, knowing when to manage the time actually helps you. So as much as there was a lot about this call that I did not love, not because of my sales skills, but because of the way it deployed against this circumstance, but he was intentional about saying, well, let me at least get the controllable. And I think there's a lesson there, right? Let me focus on what I can control. And that's why he got the highest score in that area, because he focused on what he could control. So that being said, that's where your score is. Guys, this is where, when I have you guys talking about the things that are important when it comes to sales and how to navigate conversations, nothing wrong with a good sales process, but just understand when your process doesn't fit the circumstance. You know what I mean? It's like if you went into a doctor, this for me, what I was thinking of when Mats was in this call was that Savannah was in there with a bone sticking out her leg. And he was like, you know what? That's great. You know, but I have this chapstick. It'll make your lips look amazing. And it'll really help. And she's like, yeah, I don't really need chapstick. Well, that's great. I also have this face cream. And we're like, bro, just fix her leg. You know what I mean? But we didn't get there. So that being said, what are your thoughts?
Well, I don't have the empathy gene, so it's very difficult for me to connect. And Eddie, I have a 10x tattoo on my arm, so I'm all about Grant Cardone.
I already knew it.
I'm all about Grant Cardone. So
trust me,
I'll
he did
take
it
that.
too.
There we go. That's what's up. That's what's up. There we go. So yeah, I am very high energy. I don't know how to dial it down. I don't sugarcoat stuff. I am what I am. I don't pretend to be something that I'm not. I'm always like this, whether we're playing golf or we're making phone calls. It's just who I am. But
Like, interesting.
it was a lot. The clock got me, and if I'm 100% honest with everybody here, I heard Jeff's call on Friday and I started rethinking my life. Like I didn't even want to come to this call on Monday. I wish I had put it further down the line like all of you guys did, but it was a great experience. Hopefully I did enough to get spot number 8. Regardless, I'm coming to Arizona to play golf.
That being said, let me say this, John, and you can do with this what you will, bro. But I say this all the time when I talk about sales training. This is something you can choose your own journey, right? And you can say, well, I am who I am, and I'm just going to take the deals. If there's 10 deals in the bucket, my personality is going to get me 3, and I'm good with my 3. And then I'm going to go golf. Some people are like, yeah, I'm good with my 3, but what if I could get 8?
Right.
And what if all of that costs me is a couple of uncomfortable looks in the mirror and some uncomfortable changes of habit? If I'm willing to make those things, are those 8 deals worth that discomfort? And I think that's a personal question. I think that's something that only an individual can answer. But if the answer to that is yes, Mods, I'm going to tell you there's no doubt in my mind that you could make the changes that you need to make to handle those types of situations, regardless of your empathy. Tonality and empathy aren't the same thing. And while you did lack empathy, you could have replaced that with good tonality. You had neither. So just something to think about. Do with that what you will. You're going to crush regardless of what you do. It's just a matter of what your goals are, man. But I think you got options, whatever it is you choose.
Sounds like you want my credit card for your sales training.
No, I don't. You're already in sub 2, man. You got everything you need right here, bro.
All right, beautiful. I appreciate it, guys.
The push away.
Awesome. Good stuff, guys. All right, let's go on to the next one. Comments in the chat if you have any feedback on what you guys have been hearing so far. We are 2 down. Matza's still good enough. He's in 3rd place officially. The game is not over yet. Anything can happen. Knoxville, appreciate you. His name is back to Knoxville, just so we're clear. It's all the way back to Knoxville.
Please tell me y'all fixed it.
Nah, man, it's Knoxville,
Hey, you
Tennessee.
left.
It's back to the way it was.
You left and came back. That's your fault.
How do I keep it the same?
So what you do is you have to change it, and then when you change it, it'll ask you if you want to save it for future meetings. It doesn't give you that option when you change it for you.
All right, cool. I figured it out. But I'm listening. Let's go.
Oh, Keita, awesome. Appreciate you. Are you an MSA I'm assuming for sub 2, right?
Of course. You know who I am. We got pictures together.
Yes. Oh my gosh, Keita, how are you?
Yes, I'm doing good.
Okay, let me tell you right now, some of the MSAs in sub 2 are fantastic. I have yet to meet one that I don't like, but Keita definitely stood out. You are super cool people. It's great seeing you. Well, not seeing you, but hearing you again.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here. You guys are rocking it out. Thank you for allowing me to be in here.
Awesome. Okay, who's next? Is it Tom?
Yep, that's me.
All right, Tom, how you feeling, man? You've seen 2 people go tonight. Are there nerves? Are there butterflies?
Yeah.
What's the situation?
Yeah, it's a little nervous.
Nervous.
Haven't done many role playing. Most of mine have just been seller calls. So.
Okay, well, you only have 113 people watching you.
Yeah.
Right? But on a positive note, the space station will not crash if you don't do fantastic.
All right.
Right? Your self-respect may, but right? I'm just kidding. Tom, you're going to do great, dude. I'm really, really excited that you came up here. I think you did a great job in showing up. That's the biggest step. So my advice is just be yourself, be mindful of the clock, do your best, make the most out of the options that are in front of you, and let the score be what it is.
That's what I'm gonna try.
All right, Savannah, are you are ready on your side? Let me take this in case people comment in the chat. Guys, show some love to Tom as he does his thing here.
Hey, Samir, tag me in, bro. I gotta go.
You mean tag me out?
Tag me out.
Is English just not a thing that you guys practice in your office?
Where are you going, T-Town, Tom?
Yeah, where are
Go
you?
to the
the
bathroom.
meeting?
Relax.
No.
Oh my gosh.
Wash your hands.
I'll do the
Don't
last
say that.
one.
Samir hates it when people have bowel movements. He does not like it. It makes him feel really uncomfortable.
Gosh, sorry.
It's a weird thing. Yeah, Samir doesn't think people poop.
I gotta make a call.
He has to make a phone call. There you go. Lie so that Samir feels comfortable.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I liked your first answer better.
Okay.
All right.
The moment you didn't say anything.
All right, Tyler, go do your thing, bro. Samir, you ready to go? I sent you the thing in our chat just in case, so you have it.
Okay, but
All right, guys, you know what it is.
I got it.
Show some
Thanks,
love. No, Knoxville, it is definitely not fixed. You're about to just become Knoxville. I'm just, this is like, maybe this is a sign to embrace it.
Knoxville, Tennessee. Hey, we got a
I'm
property
done.
Knoxville if you want a property out there.
All right, I'm pulling up the clock. Tom, you know what it is, man. Whenever you're ready, all you got to do is say ring, ring. And as soon as Savannah says hello, the timer starts and the magic is yours to make.
All right. Ring, ring.
Hello.
Hello, Savannah.
Yes.
Hey, it's Tom. I was reaching out about your property on Main Street.
Okay.
Are you still looking to sell that property?
Yes. Yes. I am looking to sell that property.
Um, do you happen to have a price you're interested in getting for the property?
Let me I'll pull it up on Zillow really quick. Let me
Okay.
see. Zillow. That's the best place to look at prices, right?
Well, I mean, you can look up prices on Zillow, but that's usually not we're usually buying
Mm-hmm.
for. Can you tell me a little bit
Okay.
about why you maybe want to sell the property?
Yeah, so I actually just got this inherited. Not funny. My uncle passed away and he left me this property. So yeah, I don't think I really want to be a landlord. So I'd like to sell it.
Okay, was he living in the property or was it a rental property?
No, he's got tenants in there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Um, so how long ago was this? How long ago did you take it over?
I got it 2 months ago.
Oh, okay. Um, so are the tenants pretty good? They're in the property? Are they
Um,
paying?
I would not describe them as good. No, they
Oh,
have
okay.
not paid me.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's not good. Especially if are you being a new landlord? I'm sure that's not something you want to deal with.
Yeah, they're very difficult. So I'm not exactly sure like how the process would work if I'm able to sell this one, how we're gonna get them out of there. It's kind of,
Okay.
yeah.
Um, well, can you tell me a little bit about the property? Have you been to it? Have you seen it?
No, actually, that's one of the problems is they won't let me in and they won't pay
Well,
me. Yeah, they're trying to say that their lease agreement was with my uncle, so they don't need to pay me.
oh wow, okay.
So, yeah, it's just kind of become like a big mess.
Do you know if he actually had a lease agreement?
As far as I know, they've been in there for a really long time. Like I
Oh,
would say they've probably been in there like at least 7 years.
oh wow. Oh well, they must have been pretty good tenants with your uncle then, if they have been there that long.
Yeah. That's
So are you just looking to get a cash offer on it, or
yeah, I mean, yeah, what would that look like?
well, we typically um offer based on the condition of the property. Um, with tenants being in the property,
Mm,
maybe it's a little bit hard to uh, deal with when you have to get rid of the tenants as well.
yeah.
Um, is there a mortgage on the property that you know of?
Yeah, there is, but I mean, just I can't pay that mortgage and my mortgage,
Okay.
So that's why I was thinking like probably selling this would be like best case scenario.
Okay. Yeah. Um, do you know how much the mortgage is on the property?
Um, I have some documents here and it says 385, 247.
Okay. Um, well, if we could come up with a number that works for you on the property, how quick would you be interested in selling?
Oh, like right away. I don't I don't want to deal with this.
Oh, okay, I
It's kind of
understand
just
that.
like, yeah, it's kind of just been a headache the last couple months.
Okay. Uh, well, if I'm going to try to look up some numbers, and I'd like to set up a follow up and see if maybe we can go to the property and see if maybe we can get in the property. I know you said you were not able to get in. Maybe we can get in to see the property.
Okay.
Do you have access to it at all? Like
No,
extra
they
keys?
no, they weren't. No, I don't have anything. And then when I actually went there, they had a like a pit bull in the
Oh
front
wow.
yard.
Oh wow.
So yeah, I'm just warning you. You can go there and try, but it looks like they have like some
Oh, it looks like
security
we may
there.
have to get the sheriff's department or something out there. So we would have to probably put in the forms and everything to try to get rid of the tenants on the property. But I think what we could do is set up a time to go up there and see if we can go by and look at the property.
Hmm.
And then maybe I'll try to go by there today and look see if I can get them the answer and maybe let me in. Uh, if I'll kind of use your name if that's okay, just to say you wanted me to come by and look at the property. Does that sound good?
Yeah, I mean, whatever you can do to help.
Yeah, I mean, if we can get them out and get you a price, that'll be uh, good for you, and we can get this property purchased and maybe
Okay.
get you the cash you need for the property, and then
Yeah.
maybe can we maybe I'll follow up with you maybe tomorrow or the next day, say 4 o'clock or something.
Yeah, you can give me a call tomorrow at 4, but just curious, like, what does it timeline typically look like? Like, how
And
quickly?
that is time, ladies and gentlemen.
Nice.
Mr. Asbell coming in here, proving that it doesn't have to be fancy to be fantastic. But let's see if the score sheet reflects that sentiment. We're going to go straight to it. We're going to start with Mr. Mustache himself, Eddie Marin. Give us your thoughts on the call, bro. Really interested in seeing your numbers. I'll go second this time, then we'll let Tyler wrap it up from the backside.
So intro 3.75, rapport is a 4, motivations at 3.75, and I'll dig deeper into that one. Objections, there was not really any objections to begin with, so I'm gonna give him a 4. Solutions, I'm gonna get deeper into this, but 3, and then the bonus for the setting is gonna be a 3.75.
He got a follow-up appointment.
No, but he didn't actually get the actual thing. There was confusion. I'll get you. Want me to explain? Okay,
No,
here's
please do.
Okay. So for the intro, I think you did a really. I think so far right now, your intro was super smooth, super good. The only thing, the one towards the end, is that you did this huge pause before actually telling them why you're calling, right? So that right there can really take some lose credibility or kind of see if you're not, the nature of this conversation that I'm about to give right now is confidence. I think I heard and more than I heard the actual the call in general. What happens with the and the ums, you lose sometimes you can lose credibility with people. Fortunately for you, Savannah was good, and she's one of those people that's not gonna really pay attention to that. But the ums and the uhs, the motivation, I think you fact finding motivation was phenomenal. I think you did a really good job. You were hammering questions. I didn't feel like you were interrogating her by any means or any of that. I still feel with the time that was given, that's why you got the 3.75, because you went a little bit deeper on some of the stuff. The one thing I would have poked at a little bit more would have been the motivation, in the sense of, oh man, they haven't paid rent for how long? How much is that costing you?
Yeah. Okay.
When they say they haven't been paying rent, the first thing I say is, damn, like, oh my gosh. I wish I was rich, paying 2 mortgages, right? Get that motivation. That's the part where I would have dug that I would have felt right there. The objections, there wasn't really any big objections by any means, besides the dog towards the end. And then also going out, the solutions. Dude, you had this entire call perfectly drafted up, right? I wouldn't say perfectly, but pretty darn close. But when you came down to the solutions, you got me confused. You're gonna go out to the property, clear the tenants out, and then give me numbers? Or what, I needed to hear a little bit more clarity on the actual solution to it. That's why when you went to go set that appointment, it sounded like you were gonna set up an appointment to let her know you're gonna go to the house. And then you said, let me wrap this back up, but is it okay if I call you tomorrow? And she goes, well, what's the next thing? That's where she was getting into, was the objection of what's happening, what's actually happening. What are you trying to? right? That's where the confusion on the solution and the bonus close for the next appointment set. That's
Boom.
why I gave those numbers.
Okay, I'm gonna follow it up because I think Eddie is completely on drugs, but this is why you have different judges. So I do agree with that intro. 3.75. You were at a 4. You were straight to the point, and then you randomly switched to, "Do you know how much you want for the property?" And it was just like, what? Dude, that was weird, right? Like I just didn't understand that, and that's what brought you down to 3.75. I thought your intro was great. If you would have said something, I think one of the things you do is you personalize when I think you should make it external. So I'll give you an example. Instead of saying, "What do you want for the property?" How about you ask a generalizer or an open-ended question like, "How has that process been going?" Right? Instead of saying what I would like, well, maybe what could be helpful. You know, some of those things make it sound like you're putting the onus of the pressure of the conversation onto a third party, and it makes it easier for that to be received by them. So I probably, instead of saying what do they want, I would have said something along the lines of how has that been going.
Okay.
And that would have probably kept you right around at 4, and it would have probably started the conversation off on a little bit of a better tone. But that being said, for rapport building, I'm giving you a 4. I think that's the right number for rapport building. For fact finding and uncovering motivation, the way I'm judging this, I'm not judging it based on your ability to get intrinsic personal motivation, right? I don't care about that. Savannah sent us the motivations, and I'm grading you by how well you got all of those motivations. And to my knowledge, you got everything except for what she wants to do with the money. I don't know that you got that. Savannah, did he get that or no?
I don't think we really got into that or the foreclosure part, but everything else, I think.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Okay.
I
Yeah.
don't think we got that.
Yeah. So for me, I think that, you know, with that point, I'm not really worried about the intrinsic stuff. You got a lot of information about the landlord. You found out what happened with the uncle. You found out that she wasn't able to get into the house. You found out that you didn't know what was going on with that. There's more than 5 things here. So I'm going to give you a 4 on motivation. Overcoming objections, I'm going to do the same thing for there. Presentation of solutions. This is a tough one, right? Because you presented a solution. I agree with Eddie. I don't know that I understand that solution, but it was a solution. And who's to say that that's not a good idea, right? Like, I'm not saying that putting that's, I don't know. I don't know how that's going to land. It may be one of those things that you accidentally did that ends up being the one thing that helps because maybe they'll talk to you as a third party, right? But you presented something. So for presentation of solutions, I'm giving you a 3.75. And for the strength of close and follow-up, I mean, you got a follow-up. Now, what I understood was that you were going to go over to the tenants and then you were going to follow up with her within the next day or two, right? That was what I understood.
Yeah. I was going to talk to the tenancy first and then talk to her the next day.
Yeah. So that was what I got from that. I mean, I think the purpose of strength is close and follow-up is, do you get there? Do you get something scheduled, right? And you did. Maybe it wasn't fancy, maybe it wasn't pretty, but you got something scheduled. I'm trying to decide, right? Like it wasn't the perfect follow-up, but I think you got all of the details. So I'm like somewhere between like a 4.85 and a 5, right, for styles. And I'm tough and torn whether or not he should get the appointment for the follow-up or if he should be knocked a little bit for style. I got to give room for finesse for people who do it a little bit more snazzy.
I can see that.
4.85. Completely random number. But you got the whole thing. It was just a little clunky to get there. I don't know. I want to be able to give something to somebody who just like knocks that follow-up out the park and does it well.
Okay, sweet. I'm gonna just run through my scores, and then I'm gonna give my feedback. 4, 3.5. Okay, strength intro, just across the board, same with the guys. The point DQ made about the hard switch, spot on. That was what caught me off guard. I think you were right there, and then you jumped so hard into that question, it genuinely confused me as to why that was where you went with it. I think if you had just eased into a little bit more, you would have been fine. Rapport building, I think you did a good job of giving some peace of mind through that conversation as much as you could and pushing your way through it. I give you 3.5, actually based off the same logic as DQ. The reason I didn't do the extra half point was she did mention that affording both mortgages was an issue. But the thing we had here was that it was foreclosure, and I think you could have dug dug deeper into the foreclosure part of it specifically. But I think you touched on it, so that's why I took the half point from you. But I think you got most of the points on that. Overcoming objections, gave you a 3.5. I dinged you a little bit here because I think if you had dug a little bit deeper, something could have come up. But I think so much time was just spent on the fact-finding part of it, and the solution just came up at the end, where there wasn't really space for an objection. That's one of the tougher parts about objection. This convo we've had of, is it because we didn't get to it and there was just no reason for an objection, or was it because you did such a good job handling it? I was kind of in two minds about that a little bit. I think you did a good job handling convo overall, but I think if you dug a little deeper, there's a chance something would have come up, because right at the end, that she circled back to try to give you a question when you try to close on the follow-up. She kind of pushed back on you a little. Presentation solutions, I gave you a 3 for that. You set the stage. The point of going to the property, it's something. I don't know if it's necessarily what I would call a solution either, just because, you know, the things everyone's mentioned here, like, is that actually going to work out? Is that something? But part of presenting a solution, you know, for what it's worth, is giving peace of mind to the seller. And at the very least, you're telling her that, hey, I'm going to try to handle this for you. I'm going to go there. Maybe they'll respond to me. Maybe they won't. But I'm going to go there. So I'm going to give you at least some points on setting the stage there. Strength to close the follow-up, it's a little bit tough too, just because right at the end, Savannah did kind of squeeze in that question as you were closing it up. I was maybe even going to go 4, but at the end of the day, the point is to get a follow-up. And I think you were most of the way there. I think you could have locked in a little bit better and just kind of tied a bow on it. You know, the finesse is where it comes in. But I want to be consistent with kind of how we put that out there. So I went 4.5. But overall, great job.
Tom, how you feeling, man?
Hey, I feel pretty good. The ending was a little bit clunky, I think, myself too. I should have probably put in that third-party story, because I just had something just closed on a property recently, where we actually went to the property and basically did this and saw the property and kind of helped out the seller. So it was kind of, I should have put that story in there, would have probably made it sound a little better to her too.
Maybe. I mean, this for me, guys, is really just it reminds us of the point that it doesn't have to sound fancy, right? You just got to make sure you hit on the things. And why I think this is really important is it should be a reminder to all of the people who are new to the industry and to having conversations like this. I think a lot of times we think we need to have this super snazzy, finessed way of communicating and these really, really deep skills, when really at the end of the day, you just need to be poignant in your conversations. You need to listen, right? You weren't infringing some process on her. You were listening to her, and then you were responding accordingly. And I think that just doing the simple basics helped you get a score that I think was a lot higher than probably you even expected, right? And so I just think it really is, it demonstrates the power of not needing to be perfect, but just being willing to listen and have a decent conversation.
Yeah, I honestly, just to chime in a little bit more, Thomas, dude, that's like the phone call right there. Like, as everybody's seen, like, you're gonna build the rapport as you're just doing it like that. Like, just literally going, the only thing that I would say is tighten up the ums and the uhs and ums and uhs, just because you got to give me confidence too. If you can give me confidence, like, imagine if, like, you're talking to someone and you're like, hey, yeah, will you sell me your house? You know, the thing is, like, so I was talking about it's just, we're dealing with people's most important, like biggest investments or monies ever. I don't need ums and uhs on the other side of the phone, but because of your tonality and the things you were saying, it still sounded like you still had credibility, knew you were talking about. Maybe not the best public speaker, but you were still getting there. But if you eliminate those and just maybe, you know, find something there, that call would have been.
Yes.
Yeah, it'll make a big difference. And honestly, like, I thought about putting a confidence in here, right?
Yeah.
Because it's such a big thing, right? It just throws the numbers on, but very, very good points.
Yeah.
I don't know
Thank
if
you.
Angie or maybe Jeff, if you guys as contestants and people who have judged this, if you guys want any thoughts on that before we switch over to the final goer right now. We'll get Robin up here. So, Savannah, if you want to get everything ready. Boom. We got this in. So which one of you guys is going? Is it going to be? Is Tyler gone? Okay. Well, it's Samir.
Tyler's computer Zoom because he's trying to operate out of a PC always freezes up, but when he's on his MacBook, he's fine.
Interesting. I'm on a PC. Don't seem to have any issues. It's interesting. Interesting theory. Okay, Robin, how are you feeling? You've heard everybody go tonight.
Oh, well, as the minutes move closer and the contestants get farther away till your turn, then the butterflies are swirling a little bit.
Well, everybody loves a good butterfly. All right.
Okay.
Got this good to go. Let's all right, let's see. Savannah, are you ready on your side?
Yes. Did everybody get the motivation?
Yes. Alexa's having trouble connecting to the internet for some reason, and I don't know why she decided to share this with me.
Okay.
Hold on 1 second, Rob. Let me get the clock up. Final call for the night, guys. Show some love in the chat for Robin. I love Jeff, but I really hope that Robin takes the lead tonight. That's my hope. We shall see.
We'll see. Jeff's pretty smooth.
All right, whenever you're ready.
All right.
Wait, hold on. Before you say that, who's judging? It's you, right, Samir? Me, you, and Eddie again? Or do you want to swap?
Yeah.
Tyler, I don't know if
Tyler, you want to hop in?
Yeah, Tyler, jump in.
I'll hop in.
Okay, you want to hop in for Samir or Eddie?
Eddie.
Yeah, you can Greg it, dude.
Okay, so me, Samir, and Tyler.
Hey, so I'll have to like jump on here. Let me get my phone ready because sometimes my Zoom shuts off on my computer. So let me.
I'll do that. Switch on your Mac, dude. You might actually have.
Nobody has time for that. With his, it's literally, it's like my grandma with a computer over here.
Take me 5 seconds.
Okay, everybody count to 5. Let's see if Tyler gets this thing ready.
All right, continue. I'll just switch on.
Okay, perfect. If there's something goes wrong, Eddie can be the backup. For now, it'll be me, Samir, and Tyler.
I'm
All right,
listening.
We're shutting up whenever you're ready.
Okay, Savannah, let's go. Ring, ring.
Hello?
Hi, Savannah. This is Robin. I'm calling about your property on Winter Circle. Are you still interested in selling that property?
Yes.
Fabulous. I'd love to take few of your minutes if I can, and thanks for answering. Tell me, take it from the top. What has you wanting to sell?
Well, long story, but I don't even know where to start.
Oh, take a breath.
Yeah.
You don't have to give me all
It's
the
a
details.
lot.
I'm good. You don't have to give me all the details. The important thing to know here is that you want or you need to sell.
I guess I have to sell.
Okay, how come?
Yeah. I can't live in the property anymore. It's got some fire damage.
Uh-oh. Who did that?
You would not believe. This is like out of a movie, but my ex-husband set fire to the property. Yes.
Was that get the hell out bitch or what?
Say it again?
I said, was that a get the hell out bitch moment or what? What did he do that for? Why?
Yeah, I'm sorry. That was so funny that you said that. I was awarded the property in the divorce and he was not happy about that.
He's not having any of that. Okay. So, what part of the house was damaged?
So it's honestly not that bad, but it's not where I can live in it.
Yeah, got that. All right.
Yeah, so it's like it's pretty gross, but yeah, I have no idea.
Let's see what we can do to get the property out of here then, or away from you so that you don't have to be there anymore.
Okay.
So he was on the property, but you were awarded in the divorce. So we only have you to contend with in regards to who owns the property. It's all yours.
Okay, so it got pretty messy. This is why I was like, I don't even know where to start. So this happened so soon that we didn't do the official like title transfer or anything like that. So he was still on title. Obviously, we're both still on the mortgage. But when he said, fire to the property, he was still technically an owner. So it just kind of complicated the whole thing.
Did that little arsonist go to jail or not?
It's it's still in the process. This is all still pretty recent, but yeah, he got caught.
Good. Good for you. I'm glad to hear that. Um, let's see. Do you know how much your house is worth right now? I mean, with this fire damage, do you have any clue what the value is?
I have spoken to an appraiser and
Mhm.
just like a contractor to see what it would take to get it all done. So I do have all of those numbers, but I mean, it's such a
Oh, this
mess.
sounds so overwhelming. Is there
Yeah.
anything at all that, I mean, is there anything I could do for you aside from setting up the purchase to the house? Is there any kind of thing that I could do that would be helpful?
Just give me the most amount of money you can for my property.
Okay. Do you still have a mortgage on the property? I mean, you mentioned that you're both on title. Is there still a
Right.
mortgage?
Yeah, there's still a mortgage.
Okay. Do you know how much it is?
It looks like it's 487 329.
And the insurance money, when that comes through, you want to put that in your pocket and take a ride, or are you gonna try to fix the house up at all?
Well, that's the thing. It's it's such a big mess. Obviously, I just went through the divorce and had to pay all that money on a lawyer. Now I have to find a lawyer that can help me with the insurance stuff because
Okay.
he was
All
still
right.
on title. They're not
Yeah.
wanting to, they're saying it's like
A
we
lot
caused
of
the damage, right?
a lot of work to do still. Um, I don't know how much time it's going to take for you to get all of that stuff done, and I may or may not be able to lock something up for you. But I think what I could do is come up with a number. If we can get a little more information about the property, I could probably come up with a number, even if we couldn't actually close on the property right away. I mean, you have some logistic hoops that you have to jump through, it sounds like. But I think that I could take this information to my team and we could at least get you a solid offer. Can I relay all of this information that you've provided to me to my team and communicate further about what our offer would actually be?
Um, yes. How long do you think that'll take? I mean, I know
To get back to you?
to get back to me and just like the whole process.
Oh, I could call you back in 30 minutes.
Okay.
The process itself, getting the contract written up and agreeing to a price, that would
Mm-hmm.
be that would be very quick also. And then we could stretch this thing out as long or as short as you need, 14 to 60 days, whatever it is would help for you.
Like, no, I would want to, like, if you could close tomorrow, I would say tomorrow. This
Well,
is just such a
we
nightmare.
can't close in one day, but we can certainly get you on the way in one day's time. We can get answers even if we don't have the final resolution. Can I call you back tomorrow at 10 a.m.?
Yeah, you can totally call me back.
I'll give you a little extra time. I can get answers I need today for an offer from what we've taken in. I know your balance. I know that we need to consider the fire damage, but I would like to talk to my team. So tomorrow at
Okay.
10 a.m.
Yeah, we can do tomorrow at 10 a.m.
Super. I'm really sorry
Okay.
for the situation too, for what you're going through.
Robin cut herself off by 2 seconds for starting it early. I started when she answered. You started when you started.
Yeah,
But that's
sounds like
okay. Don't know that the 2 seconds would have made much of a difference. Fantastic way to end the evening's competitions. Get some love in the chat if you guys thought Robin did an amazing job. I'm interested in seeing how this goes. Let's pull the score sheet up. Samir, you can go ahead and start first. And
I
then we
think
will go
someone
from there.
mentioned she needs some extra points for making me break my role play.
First person to get. First of all, I don't know where Robin got that potty mouth from. We need to have a whole conversation
Oh my
about
God.
that. Really, really
so
good
funny.
stuff. I'm really excited to see how these scores go. Great call, Samir. Go ahead and get us going, man.
Yeah, hold on 1 sec. Let me just pull up my note. It's being weird because I'm sharing my screen.
Vanna, you do such a great job. I think you said before that you weren't sure all of this would help you in your actual call, but I think all of these things that you present for all of us really do present an opportunity for you to be good in your call. I know you guys are about to give me feedback. I got the hospital calling me here for an appointment for my dad, and so I'm going to try to listen, but I'll be quick.
Okay, we'll do the feedback and then we'll wrap up with you afterwards.
Yeah, I'll run right through it, and then I will back. I'll explain the score. So I'm 4, 4, 3, 4, and then okay.
Y'all drive me crazy with
Rob,
these motivation points.
what happened?
No,
Yeah,
go ahead.
okay.
Go ahead. I'm just gonna throw shade where I see
I
shade.
kept it consistent. I'll tell you, I'm comfortable where I'm
okay.
at with that one. That's the one. Strength to intro, Robin. I gave you a 4. I think you came in pretty well. I think there was a little bit of disconnect. That's actually where I kind of got you on rapport, where you were trying to have a conversation with her and be friendly and have a chat, but you talked over her a little bit. There was a little bit of a disconnect because of that. I felt like it happened a couple times throughout the conversation.
It did. You're right.
I'm sorry?
It did. You're right.
Yeah. But I think you played it off well. I think the conversation still was smooth. I don't think it was to the point where it was like, I'm killing you. And I also think it calmed down kind of as the combo went on. I think it was probably a little more your nerves just kind of getting into the flow and chatting with her a little bit. But overall, risky play on on making a joke, but it worked, right? That's what's gonna happen when you make a joke, something, when you're gonna use something like, some different language or try to make a little joke or something like that. But that's how it goes in real life. Some people respond to it well, which, Savannah did break character almost, and sometimes they don't. In your situation, I think it worked really well. I got you a little bit on fact finding, but it was because of the way the fact finding was broken up. So, the way we've been doing it the rest of the night, it's typically been about 5 points. You got 3 of the 5 things, but I think it affected how you were able to present solutions, which is why I held you to it. So you found out that the seller had an ex-husband who set the property on fire, so spot on that. You found out the property didn't have a lot of damage. You didn't get to the point that she was staying in a hotel, and then that was what was causing the financial distress. She had to basically pay for 2 places. You did get that the insurance was actually, you know what? I'm gonna give you 3.5. I had a 3.5 on that. You got that the insurance wasn't gonna cover it because she wasn't the owner. And then there was a specific amount of money that she needed, which was $35,000 to get into the next place, which is another thing you did not get. Overcoming objections, she kind of only really gave you one, which was time, which is the only one you got. So I think you did a good job at kind of giving her the breakdown of the fact that, hey, we can do it quick, we can do it long. And I like the fact that you were honest about it. Like, hey, I'm not going to get you out in a day, but I will have something for you, and then I'll do my best to move along quickly. I think a lot of times people think overcoming objections means, hey, I'm just going to tell you whatever you want to hear. And I think you did a good job in not doing that. Solutions, that's why I gave you 3.5. I think you got to the point of mentioning her that she needed cash, but you didn't really find out that her issue was that she needed 35 specifically, and that she needed to find a way to cover that hotel situation. I just think your solution could have been a little more tailored if you were able to get to that. But I think you did the job there. And then follow up, same thing as Thomas. I think you got to it, and I think you got it across. I'm gonna give a little bit of leeway just for the finesse that could have been done there, 4.5. But overall, great call. I think you had a good vibe. I think, in a real life situation, that call would have been great, and you would have been able to circle back with that seller.
Okay. So I'm going to go with the intro. I'm going 4.25. You stuttered a little bit, but I think you had basically the meat and potatoes in that. It wasn't perfect. You tried to use, what happened is you tried to use a couple different people's lines. You tried to use Jeff's line, but you didn't use it as a part of your delivery. You kind of like added it on afterwards. I think everything else about your intro was great, except for that. If you had just used that, or you had just stick with what you had, you would have probably gotten a 5. But I think that stumble was where the knock's coming into play. Rapport building, I'm giving you a 5. I don't know about everybody else. That rapport was all the way there. So what's rapport? I think rapport is a couple of things. I think rapport is the ability for the person to trust you to get the job done, or the person really to like you, or both. And I think that Robin got the person to do that. I don't think that the cutting the person off was pushed back on. Had Savannah at any point sounded frustrated by that fact, then you got to get knocked. But go to an Italian household, go to a Puerto Rican household. They're cutting each other off all the time. Like, nobody's bothered about that. That's just the way they communicate. So I don't think that bothers everybody as much as some people might think. It did not fall here. So I don't, that's not my issue. So to Samir's point about fact finding and uncovering motivation, there were 6 motivations here. And that's the point where I don't like the 3 number, because she got 4 out of the 6, right? And so that's where it's like a little bit tight. So then I got to go back to, well, what were we grading everybody else on the other night? So most everybody missed 1, but I didn't knock them for missing 1, because what they missed was not really relevant to the sale of the property. I don't think that her explaining why she had financial distress was necessarily relevant, because she understood that she had financial distress. She uncovered that part. So the why of that was necessary. It was kind of like moot. You could take it or leave it. It doesn't change the outcome of the conversation. She didn't get an exact number, so I can't give her a 5. She lost 2 of those. So for me, it's a 4. I think a 4 is a fair number for that, especially since there was more than 5 and she got like, 4.5 of those. Presentation of solutions. I'm going 4 here, right? Because what she did is overcoming objections is a 4. And I don't know, maybe I'm just in a nice mood tonight. I'm just giving out these 4s too easily. I don't know. But so presentation of solutions, she presented a plan. And here's the thing, guys. I think a lot of times people get this wrong impression. I think their said is, I can imagine, Angie. It's the same thing with my Puerto Rican side. It's just noise. And everybody gets it for the most part. But here's the thing, guys. I think a lot of people come into this industry with this weird misconception that you need to one call close. Can you one call close? Yes. Have I one call closed? Yes. But that's not the majority of the situation. Okay, well, if it's not the majority of the situation, then what is? Being able to plant the appropriate seeds and schedule for the follow-up. Well, if I understand that's how a good conversation is going to go, then I have to factor that into my scoring here. And so when Robin says, I'm not going to give you the answer to all of these questions, and I'm not going to pitch creative, and I'm not going to do all these things, that makes sense to me because it wasn't the right time for it. Well, then if you're not doing that, if you're not actually presenting a real solution for the deal, what are you doing? Well, you're presenting the next best thing, which is planting a seed for the follow-up, which is exactly what she did. And literally, we do this on actual calls with our team. When our team hits something that they don't know how to answer, then what do? You know what? These are great questions. Here's what I'm going to do. And you paint a picture for the seller of what to expect. You set them up to be excited about a follow-up. And then that way, when the follow-up comes, they're looking forward to that follow-up. And I think Robin did all of those things. So even though she didn't present a solution for the deal, she did present the next step, which I think is good. Facts, Chino. So I'm going 4 there. And again, I'm going to 4.85. It was a little stumbly at the end. And I don't know if this is us at this point or if this is just Savannah.
You went, my fault. What'd you go for solutions then?
4. And then 4.85 for the follow-up. It wasn't a clean follow-up, but she scheduled it for 10 the next day, and then she went back and did some other stuff, right? And it got a little convoluted. And so, but the agreement for the call on the following day was made, right? And so I can't give a perfect 5 for that, but I don't know. That's my scoring on the topic. Is it Tyler or is it Eddie that's going?
I think it's Tyler.
I think it's Tyler. I just don't see him.
Right here. Come on, dude.
Thanks, Pumpkin. Sorry.
All right.
Macable?
No, I'm on my PC.
Let's go. PC.
Robin, very, very good call. My scores 4.5, 4.5, 3.5, 4, 3.5, 5.
What was our presentation solutions, bro?
3.5, and then strength of follow-up, close 5. Okay, so intro, I thought it was really good. It was very, very personable, and this is where I realized, I mean, it's always been true, but I realized it a lot. Like, being a girl helps so much, and having that sweet young, like, hey, like sweet voice, it's like that. People don't realize how much that actually helps you talk to sellers. I was thinking if I was saying this stuff to Savannah right now, there's no way. There's no way I'm getting anywhere near.
You're telling me if you called her bitch, she wouldn't like it?
Nah, probably not.
No,
especially in my tone. You'd probably take offense to it.
Because you would like pause and elongate the wrong word, and it would just make it really, really awkward. Like
Yeah,
you
well,
would whisper it the way Robin whispered.
You can't be as smooth as Robin.
No. So I gave her 4.5 rapport building. I actually laughed when she said that. So the whole conversation, I really didn't feel like there was any hiccups or anything along those lines. I gave her a 4.5. Fact finding, uncovering motivation, 3.5. There was a couple things on there that was not like, we didn't get to the end portion of the 30 something down payment, and there was something else in there that I didn't see. I saw three or 3.5 things out of the 5. Overcoming objections, there wasn't really much except the time one. That seemed like you overcame that, not a problem. Presentation of solutions, I didn't really hear like too much. It was like, hey, if we can get this number, are you ready to go? That's a solution. But it says presentation of solutions. there wasn't really much after that. So that's why I gave it a 3.5. And then she got the follow up. So I gave her a 5 on that.
Boom. There we go. Robin, this score officially pulls you into second place. How are you feeling?
Well, there's a lot more people to go and several days to go. So it's great to be there for now.
You could have just said you're excited. Why? What's with the negativity? What is going on here with you guys tonight? Okay. Well, there we go. That's her response. I want to hear from, is Jeff still here? Is Angie still here? Let's hear from some people who weren't officially judges, but, obviously know how to do the things. Jeff, what you got, man? Jump up here, bro. Give us your feedback on tonight and some of the things that were said.
I just heard Robin do her thing. She got second place. Come and get me.
Let's go.
No, good job. Good
I
job,
would
everybody.
be nowhere close.
Good job. Like you got to play ball. You got to push those questions hard. Like you don't have time to screw around. So good job, everybody. Like, ask the uncomfortable questions. Like, oh, I don't have quite enough rapport yet. I was like, well, now's the time to get into it. Good job, everyone.
Thanks, Jeff.
Good.
I gave Robin
everybody.
all 5s.
You gave Robin all 5s? So if you were scoring, she would have gotten 5s across the board.
Yes.
There you go.
Phyllis,
Can Angie be my judge?
Yeah, I was counting on that.
Yeah, Angie jumped out right before Samir went, which I think was a shot. But so walk us through your thought process on that, Robin. I'm interested. Or Angie, sorry.
Well, she built the rapport. She found out the facts. She was just awesome. Everything, she overcame the objections. She did awesome. Like, I would sell to her. I would have sold
Thanks,
my
Angie.
house.
I love it. Well, and this is the thing, right? Like Robin's talked about this before. She's kicked herself a little bit because she, has not been a fan of her own choices in certain decisions in the real estate space. But then she hears things like this, and it's just a reminder of like just how much opportunity is there. Like Robin will 100% crush doing the right things.
You will, Robin.
Yep.
Thanks, guys.
Chino, what's going on, bro? Welcome to the competition. What are your thoughts, man? You would have gave Robin all 5s, is what I'm hearing.
Badass all the way, bro.
I like it. Rumor has it that if Chino approves, all of the banks just give you a line of credit. It's weird.
That's true. Yes. Great job, Robin.
Thank you, Chino.
Appreciate you coming out, bro. All right, guys, before we wrap up, let's hear from the competitors for tonight. Obviously, we just heard where Robin's coming from. Let's go around in corner. We'll go in order of people who went. Rick, what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts about tonight? What are your thoughts about the scores? What are your thoughts about the people who went? Give us
Hey, it's a great experience. I recommend that, if you're out there and you're trying to get involved, get into this Zoom, get into these type of things and practice. I am doing this for skills, so that I can be better and help bring in some income. I'm retired. This is completely new to me. Retired retail manager. I've done face-to-face sales, so phone call sales are a little difficult because you can't read the expression, body posture, and all that kind of stuff. So, but this is exciting. So I'm happy to be here, and I look forward to seeing you guys and performing in the future. If I make it to Arizona, then it'll be even better. So.
I love it. I'm excited, man. I appreciate you, and I appreciate your energy just always being dope coming out here, man. Mots, let's go to you, brother.
It's a great experience. It's going to be tough to make top 8 with, whoops, get the microphone over here. It's going to be tough to make the top 8, but I'm coming to Arizona anyway. So if you want to play golf, hit me up.
Honest question, man, and if you don't feel comfortable answer this, you don't have to. But, one thing that I appreciate about Mike Gomes when he went out here, right? Like Mike Gomes is a closer. He does his thing. But he came out here expecting it to be one thing, and it was a little bit harder than he expected. He didn't realize how seriously he had to take it. Has that kind of been your experience? Like, what's been your takeaway here? Because obviously you know what you're doing. You came in with a lot of confidence.
Yeah, it's a lot different. I mean, the spin of the wheel, who you're going to get as far as a motivation on the other side, like, all the stars have to line up. And obviously, I had a tough draw. For some other folks, that might be a better draw. but I did not anticipate that. I was anticipating a yellow or a red seller coming into it, and I'm a red buyer, so I love red sellers.
Yep, yeah, no question. You crush a red seller all day long. That intro, your whole. If you would have gotten a red seller, we'd be having a different conversation. But that's the benefit of having some flexibility in your range in your skill set, right? But that being said, Mots, appreciate you coming out, man. We have no clue what these numbers will hold. Anything can happen. Anything's possible, right? Other people may get stuff that don't line up in their favor. So nothing is set in stone yet, and I appreciate you hopping up here.
I appreciate you guys having me. Take them down, Robin.
Let's go. Tom,
hey, don't forget that Savannah will take a look at any scenarios that you send her so that she can fashion them into ways to slay us as buyers.
She's got crazy relationships. She doesn't need any help from me.
Yeah. One in the chat, if you believed Savannah every single solitary time. Like, it's crazy to me how good you are at this.
Somebody better create an Oscar nominee.
100%.
We need to get Jeremy Davis out here. Things like that.
Between Jeremy Davis and Savannah, I think if they teamed up for a role play, we've just hit the pinnacle of role plays. You can't do anything after that. Like, unicorns will pop out into the Zoom. It'll be a whole thing. All right, Tom, how you feeling, man?
Feeling pretty good. Savannah is great. I think she's going to have the highest score of anybody. I mean, she's doing so good as a seller. I mean, I think she's, as a buyer, she's going to be awesome as well. It's a great experience. I said this year, I've been in sub 2 for a while now, and I said this year I'm going to start getting out more on the Zooms and putting myself out there to do stuff like this. So I'm going to try to do more this year and on this.
Love that. And then last but not least, Robin, you've been here. You've been in the community for a long time. You've been around all the people doing all the things. How are you feeling? Because you almost didn't sign up. You had to be coerced to even compete in this thing. So
I did. Well, I feel like Jeff will slay it. I am such a fan of his style and how smooth and easy he talks to people. It really is enjoyable to listen to him. So I think he's going to be right up there. Of course, I haven't heard the rest of all these people who waited to the end to come in. So we will see just how much they get strengthened by what they see, what they watch, how they observe. I know going first is tough. So, who was it that was first? Rick was Rick first?
Yeah.
Being first is tough because, especially after the weekend, when you haven't been maybe in a practice or something, and then you get to hear some of the feedback and realize where you might improve on your own game. So being the last, I think, is a definite advantage in being the last person there to listen to all the feedback. So I guess what you could do is go watch all these YouTubes and get all this feedback before you play, so that you get the idea, play, perform, whatever. I think that's would be a really good idea, even just to watch those. And before we get off here this afternoon, will you tell me, I'm not asking you to segue there now, but will you remind us how it actually works on actual Octagon day? I mean, it's obviously real people. Is there one person assigned to you as a coach? Are you calling for an hour or what? I mean, I know it's real people. It's not role play.
Short answer is we don't know. We're working on all those logistics now, because if there's 8 competitors, in a perfect world, you're going to need to have 8 judges, right?
Yeah.
So that way, and those would rotate. So you get different perspectives on your scoring throughout the night. Finding 8 judges is tough, right? We got Vina. I'm talking to Jerry. Pace is going to be competing, so he can't do it. So maybe, is it Brent? I'll be out there. So we got to figure out exactly what that looks like. We also have to figure out the logistics. They just changed the location of the Golden Ticket event because of the amount of people that are going to be there. So there's a lot of logistics going into this that we have yet to figure out, but we're going to work on figuring it out. As soon as we have updates, I will definitely let you guys know what to be prepared for. Okay, final 2 thoughts. Lizanne and Naomi, if you guys want to kind of share what you had. Lizanne, you can go first, and then Naomi can pop in afterwards.
Okay, real quick, I just want to tell you guys, because of all the stuff, I've always been a bird dog, right? And I'm like, I'm not a closer, I'm not a closer, I'm not a closer. I've always almost felt like a physical stop when it came to closing. Like I could just never close things. I would get this fear. Well, I've learned so much much, you guys, and my confidence has grown, and I'm just learning and learning and learning that I am actually in the middle of a deal that I'm closing. I already have the contract.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Present is a closer.
Yes, and I'm opening escrow tomorrow, and you guys, this has been so much fun, but in addition to fun, we're learning. I'm learning like so much, and I am so grateful. So
So,
that's it.
we said this at the very very beginning. To summarize what I just heard is you came out here in a different frame. You heard this, you participated in this, you challenged yourself, and doing all of those things is what led you to getting a deal.
I've had deals in the past, but I didn't close them. I've
Sure.
just bird dogged them.
Yeah.
This is the first time I've ever closed a deal. So no, like I've actually closed a deal with a seller.
Guys, this is what this is all about. I've said this at the very beginning. I'm going to continue to say it. Sometimes people will look at this thing and they'll be a little bit confused as to what the approach is. The reason we've done it the way we did it, the reason why I decided to do the open tryouts and kind of let anybody jump in here is because there is something magical that happens when you put yourself in an uncomfortable situation. You learn things about yourself that you didn't know were there, or you remember things that you had forgotten. And so it's super, super exciting to hear, Lizanne, that you are just another example of that coming into life. So kudos to you for putting yourself out there and doing the uncomfortable thing, because it looks like you're already getting rewarded for it in ways way beyond this competition.
Yes, and kudos to you for teaching and helping us. Thank
100%,
you.
100%. That's what we're here for. Super excited. That's such a cool story. We're gonna have to clip this and share it. Naomi, what you got?
OMG. Okay, I'm gonna try to keep this brief. You know, bravy's not my strong suit, bro.
Pray
But
for it.
between Mott's, Thomas, I came in at the end. I'm mad I missed the first two, but between Mott's, Thomas, and what we just saw here with Dear Robin, I feel like I had a perfect picture of all these different. Oh gosh. Okay, let me say this. Let me say this. Okay. Mott's, what made me get to thinking was when you said something to the effect that everything has to line up. But I remember earlier DQ saying something to you about it just matters, do you want the 8 versus the 3? Okay, this is a perfect example of the 8 versus the 3 because I've heard Robin on other calls and she's adaptable. She was there on that energy with that woman, but if it had been a totally different scenario, she would have had the same scores because we've seen these scores from Robin before. She's a chameleon. She actively listens. And Thomas, he was a little awkward, but he did the same thing essentially. He mirrored, he asked good questions, he listened actively. So we see here that it's not really about going back to what DQ said, it's not the process, it's the conversation. It's the conversation, which ties into Lizanne. Lizanne has been saying repeatedly that she is not a closer. She is a trained bird dog. She can't stretch beyond that. And we just literally saw the butterfly come out of the you dig. Okay. Because she just sat here and she absorbed all this and she saw that it was just about having a conversation. And Lizanne is already a beautiful person and an exceptional conversationalist. So it was nothing for her to adapt to being a closer because her genuine nature is going to come across anyway, right? Just like with Thomas. So it's all about how good you want to be. Do you want to be adaptable? Do
Wait,
you
hold on.
want to be able?
Lizanne's jumping in, but we can't hear her.
Are you talking,
talking
Lizanne?
to us?
Is she talking to somebody else? I'm not sure if she's.
She's probably closing another deal at
She
this
might
point.
be closing another
Okay.
deal.
She's got her
Okay,
headset
cool,
on.
cool.
Closer.
All right.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm glad I came in where I came in at because I saw all these different styles and oh, I can't wait. I can't wait. I'm learning so much, and I'm just going to be a fly on the wall and just keep on absorbing this good
Let's
stuff.
go. That's what this is about, guys, right? You hear Pace and you hear Jamil and you hear Brent and you see all of the amazing leaders in this community and they talk about Squad Up. It's literally called the Squad Up Summit for a reason. Why? Because when you get together and you get in these situations, you get in these circumstances, what happens is you start to see the power of that osmosis, right? Of being able to see what's going on within the community with other people, and you absorb. And then when you take that, you combine it with taking action and putting yourself out and doing uncomfortable things, amazing things can happen. I'm really excited about it, guys. You guys did it earlier. If you guys did not make a post, go into the Sub 2 group, go into your own social media, take a screenshot, and then just put something out there. Put a note about somebody that taught you something. Tag everybody who brought you value tonight. Why? Because there's somebody in this community who's about to give up, who doesn't think they can do this. And they're one role play away from realizing there's something inside of them that they didn't know was there. And that's why Zooms like this are so important. So that being said, guys, I really, really hope you guys go and share this. Tell people about it. I just went and shared the YouTube link for Wholesale Hotline. Guys, go out there and tell the people in Wholesale Hotline what Sub 2 is all about, that we're creating leaders in this industry by challenging them to do the uncomfortable. That's what we're here for. And it's not just me. It's not just the Bash Bros. It's not just Samir. It's every single one of you guys. I promise you, you all have the opportunity to do this. And sometimes the way you do it is just by making a post and tagging somebody that you didn't know that this was even a thing. That being said, guys, hope you guys have an amazing rest of the night. Go say hi from the Closers Octagon. Let them know what we're doing over there in the chat with the Wholesale Hotline. And then we're going to be back at this Wednesday, 3 p.m. Arizona time. Call your friends, call your uncles, your aunties, your cousins. If they're in Sub 2, tell them to get their booties in here because we're going to be doing this again. There's going to be even more people. It's going to be great. That being said, guys, have an amazing